Hi, I'm Rich Fidlow, and I am not a lawyer. However, I have, over the years, hired quite a few different lawyers for various occasions, and I have some valuable insights to share with you. The 800-pound gorilla in the room is this, and you don't hear too many people talking about it, and that is there is a massive conflict of interest, and it's almost integral within the culture of the legal community. I'm going to get into this very important point as this video progresses. But let's begin. The first thing you need to do is determine whether or not you're going to hire a lawyer in the first place. You need to examine this very important question first, and that is, have you done everything possible to resolve this issue without hiring a lawyer? That's the first step. Do everything you possibly can. Another point here, were you angry or upset, and did you remove this emotion from the equation before you made your decision to hire a lawyer? That's very important. Very few decisions that you'll make are correct if there's a lot of emotion involved. So remember that. Now, here it is. This is the beginning point, the beginning part of the crux of the matter we're talking about here today. Do you understand the culture surrounding the legal profession? Now, let me give you a few examples, a few key points regarding this. It's very acceptable within the legal community for two lawyers to have a conversation with one another on the phone regarding your case, your attorney and the opposing attorney. However, there's a lot of niceties, casual acceptances within this. Basically, they're running up your legal bill on trivial conversation, things that really aren't pertinent to your case, that don't matter. There's a lot of lawyers out there that have massive billing hours, and yet you always see them out and about around town. They're on the golf course. Something doesn't add up. Now, before we get too far, I just want to point out that there are a lot of really good lawyers out there, and they're good people. I'm not talking about everyone. I'm not painting all of them with the same brush, because there are good ones out there. You need to just know a few things to help you find those attorneys that will actually help you instead of just drain your wallet. Okay, let's get into it. You've made the decision to hire a lawyer. Now, you start calling, you start emailing. How long did it take for them to return your call? Right away, they're setting the precedent for how this relationship is going to go. Sometimes it's just their secretary returns a call, and even a lot of times they don't return it promptly. Does the lawyer have a condescending demeanor? Again, they're trying to set the tone for the relationship that they're the boss. This right here, this point, right off the bat, that's another conflict of interest. You're paying them, not the other way around. Ask them a question. What is your caseload? Do you have time to take on my case? Hey, they want your money. They want your retainer. Now, again, let me just bring up another point. I'm not talking about lawyers that, corporate lawyers that are billing other corporations, or lawyers that are working on a contingency basis. Although a lot of these points do apply to them as well, I'm talking more specifically about the kind of attorneys where they want a retainer up front and they're going to bill you by the hour. Now, the caseload. Understand something. They're going to tell you, oh no, my caseload is fine. I have time to handle your case. And they want to get that retainer money from you up front. If their caseload is heavy, they're not going to tell you. They're just going to say, oh yeah, it's fine, no problem. Okay, right there. References. Well, that's kind of a loaded question. You can ask for references. Oh, who did you hire? And were they a good lawyer? No lawyer is going to give you a reference that's a bad reference. They're going to give you the ones that are positive. They actually worked on the case and got a good result. Now the retainer. How much do they want? Okay? What is the agreement there? How does the billing work? Here's a red flag. The lawyer might say, okay, here's my billing structure. I'll charge you X amount, maybe, $400 an hour for my services. But the paralegal, I'll only charge, say, $250, and the secretary, $75. Okay? Or whatever assistant they have in the office. That's a red flag right there. If they tell you and they itemize that, because what they'll do is you'll get a bill and it'll say, oh, you spoke to me for 45 minutes and there's a deduction on your retainer. On this next date, you spoke to the paralegal for 15 minutes, there's a deduction on your retainer. Oh, you spoke to the secretary for 5 seconds, there's a deduction on your retainer. And keep in mind, they'll put things in there like, oh, spoke to the opposing attorney for 3 hours, spoke to them, spoke to this person. You'll get an itemized statement, their billing, for the month, and it'll be this long, and they'll have sucked up many thousands of dollars, and yet nothing was done. They just sucked up all that money. Also, how much of this retainer is going to be sucked up just in getting up to speed on your case? Or worse, are they going to be totally unprepared when they show up in court? This is what happens. Keep in mind, I had an experience. We showed up in court, then there was many hours from the time that we were supposed to be there to the time they actually saw our case. What is the lawyer doing? He's sitting in the cafeteria, drinking coffee, eating something, reading the newspaper, and talking to other clients. Meanwhile, keep in mind, he's billing these other clients for the phone call. He's billing me at the same time. That there is a conflict of interest. And this is just commonplace within the legal profession. Okay, so let's get on to the agreement. Read the agreement, the retainer agreement, and ask questions regarding it. Okay? The bottom line is you need to communicate to your lawyer that you want actions that produce results. Also let them know that, hey, this isn't my first rodeo, and you're going to be quick to terminate. And be quick to terminate, because they very well may just, boom, look to yank your money from you and give you nothing in return, or very little. So now, let's get into it. Massive conflict of interest built into the framework of acceptability in this profession. Most lawyers do not care and just want your money. They're going to charge you $300, $400, $500, all the way up to $800 or more, $1,000 beyond that, depending upon who the lawyer is, per hour. And the actual value of what you're getting may be as low as $0 based on the results. Keep in mind, we're going to put these lawyers that you pay on a hourly basis in the same category as a weather forecaster and the investment professional. Oh, they can make all the predictions as they want, but yet they don't get results. Your money's gone and you're stuck. So put your comments below. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, and that's all we have for today, and we'll see you next time.